Hello. 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 Hi. Okay, things are kind of working. We still have a couple of kinks to work out. For whatever reason, the emotes in YouTube aren't coming over properly, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why. It's somehow for some reason it didn't connect properly. I got one more thing to check to see if that'll work, but YouTube should be set up. So yeah, if you put emotes now, they should bounce around the screen, which means that if you're on Twitch, you should be able to like throw bricks. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea of what we're trying to do. Oh look, the silly faces worked. All right, all I had to do was reload it. Okay, nice, it's connected. Chaos! Chaos ensues! We've done it. We've done it, everybody. So for anybody who wasn't part of the live earlier, we spent a bunch of time doing extra production stuff. So now we have some fancy bells and whistles. We are live both on Twitch and we are live on YouTube. Yeah, see, isn't that neato burrito? We do have our bar up here going. We might move this bar now that might be in a better spot if we put it actually, let's move that. This one? Nope. This one. Oh, there we go. There you go. Huzzah! Ah, that's not a better spot. I hate that. That's terrible. That's awful. Maybe I can make it more narrow. Maybe we can... we'll figure it out later. We don't need to worry about this right now. We're here to talk about losers, doing loser things. Box madness. Playing a game and you forgot you opened the stream when it started. Oh, surprise! It was me! I was under your bed the whole time. I forgot to get new tea before we started, which is unfortunate for me. Alright. Here to celebrate the bricks? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It doesn't do custom emotes on YouTube. Interesting. So it does the standard emotes, but not the custom ones. Huh. Huh. Now we know. Now we know. And the alert should be working as well, for The alerts might need to be moved. I haven't made the adjustment to move them on YouTube or on Twitch, but that's okay. But we're live on both. Yeah, Melty. The fact that that one went straight to the middle and then just... Yeah, interesting. Doesn't do membership emotes. Does the YouTube standard emotes. Maybe it doesn't do... Wait, hold on. Let's try something. Let's try the sub emotes on YouTube, because not all of the emotes are available. Hold on. It might just be like all of the regular ones. Like, it won't do... See if it does the dumpster fires. No, it does the dumpster... Okay, so it does everything on Twitch, but doesn't do everything on YouTube. It doesn't do the custom ones on YouTube for some reason. Alright, I'll... All I can think of is how chaotic something like this emote wall would be on Dapper's stream. It would be absolute fucking chaos. Absolute chaos. Okay. Shall we get started? We are reading... Alright, let's see how this merge goes. Yep. Hey! Ew. I'm so happy it's so ridiculous. I love how ridiculous it is. Something needs to be adjusted here, though. Layers. This one. This should be here. Like this. There we go. Yeah, are you guys happy with your new toys? This changes everything. You're gonna be stoned and the emotes will look amazing. I know, right? The chaos. The absolute chaos. Twitch needs to be moved over a little bit. Yeah, you can tell when I've been futzing around, right? Una. Where is this? Is it this one? No, it's this one. Yeah, I haven't named my stuff yet. I gotta make that adjustment. Right there. There we go. Alright, what do you think? You guys like it? Yeah, you can bring your own emotes now if you're on Twitch, if you have your own emotes. How have we not gotten halfway in this document? I don't even remember where the hell we were in this document. I've already forgotten. It's already lost on me. I don't know how to inform you guys, but I'm lost. I am so lost in the sauce. It's not even funny. I completely forget what we were doing. Completely and utterly. Excuse me while I make some adjustments so I can fucking see chat in a way that makes sense. That works. We need more crap on the screen. Yeah, but now this is the crap that you get to control that's on the screen. Oh my god. Alright, so yeah, if you want to do that, you can follow us on Twitch, or you can be on YouTube. Consider doing memberships and subscriptions and whatever the fuck. We're talking about saving America by saving the family, a foundation for the next 250 years. I don't remember where we were. Forgetting this document sounds like a defense mechanism. It is! It is absolutely a defense mechanism. Oh, okay. It is absolutely a defense mechanism. I also didn't read it for like 2 weeks. Because, like, I didn't fucking, like, fuck this thing. I don't think about this thing when it's not in front of my face. Which, you know, might be a mistake on my part, but also, I don't know. We have our goal going. That's annoying. Alright. So we have our goal going, so Super Chats will go to opening up the spice. We usually don't get to open the spice until the very end of the stream, which is kind of too bad because watching me try to read this with my mouth full of spice would be absolutely fucking hilarious. But it is any amount right now. It's not like minimum 5. It's any amount, any color, adjusted for inflation, I guess. And then also we have this bar, which is Super Chats. Chaos. Pure chaos. Where were we? Oh yeah, this, it's right there. This goes towards, wearing a costume on stream, specifically on Dumbfuck Friday. So if you want to contribute to that, that is Super Chats. I guess we're gonna figure out how to add bits to that, but we'll worry about that when it comes up. One of the guys I live with brought me a tea because he heard me bitching. Thank you. Poland. France had fewer births than Napoleon, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think we talked about that. First causes and first principles, we got past that. I also have my duck noise. So we have that for our dog whistle when these guys dog whistle on something. Oh, and if you subscribe on, if you follow on Twitch, you get you get assigned a brick. You get assigned a brick, and that might be a trans brick. It might be a non-binary brick. It might be a bi brick. So when you follow on Twitch, you get assigned a brick at follow. And it's at random. We were definitely past this, right? Oh yeah. We were past all the fucking charts. We got past the charts. We got to MIT, we passed that. Choosing to prioritize parenting. Infants need parental care. Yeah, no shit. Quality matters, yeah. How society benefits from intact families, we were past that. Parents matter everywhere. Marriage versus cohabitation, we were past that. Dads matter to children, we were past that. Oh, here we go. Cultural and behavioral obstacles to family formation. Decline in church attendance. Okay, yeah, we were past that. Family or career achievements, which come first. Dating online and hookup pornography. Okay, I'm pretty sure we were here. I'm pretty sure we were at family or career achievement. Yes, because we definitely covered the uniform day of rest. Yeah, we definitely covered that. So I think we're at family career achievement. Which comes first? Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? If I wanted more crap on screen, I'd watch James Tour's video. I don't know what that is. What is that? Speaking of spice, what would you do with a magical powder to summon ripe red jalapeno peppers at will? Ooh. Hi. Hello. Hi. I feel like if you could just do that, you would start a... I would start a stand, and I would fucking sell jalapeno, like really fresh jalapeno peppers. Okay. Is everybody ready? Should I turn off this music? I think we should turn off the music. Shut up, music. The music doesn't deserve this. Alright. See, like, it's not that obnoxious when everybody's not spamming emotes because everybody's excited that they got a new toy. But are you guys excited for the new toy? You guys like that, right? I knew you guys would like that. You guys are gonna like it when you're allowed to suddenly throw tons of bricks at the, thing. He's a young Earth creationist that Professor Dave destroyed. Okay. A guy who screamed, Mr. Farina, you don't do it, Mr. Farina, at Professor Dave in a live debate, famous for bullying people into adding his name to papers he didn't help write. Oh. Oh, okay. Sounds good. I like how we're just doing everything we can to procrastinate because nobody fucking actually wants to read this piece of shit document. God, I'm still, like, baffled that this document tries to claim it's a report. I wrote better reports in junior high. I need to move my screen back. I need to make sure I move it back without knocking it off my fucking desk, though. There we go. I am generally uncomfortable right now. I need to tidy up and have less of everything happening. Okay. No, I'm gonna play with the box it came in. Okay. Let's get started, I guess. Ugh, this fucking piece of shit. Family or career achievements. Hi, welcome to the shit show. That's all this is. This is just a shit show. Welcome. All right, family or career achievements, which came first? For most previous generations, marriage was the foundation of adulthood. Was it? I thought driving a car and like being allowed to drink were like you're an adult now. For men. For women it's like, oh, you had your first period. Congratulations, you're a woman now. Like that's do you guys agree with that? I don't agree with that. Most previous generations, marriage was the foundation of adulthood. That doesn't seem right. I think they made that up. That sounds made up. By contrast, today's cultural narrative teaches young people to delay marriage and focus on career and personal achievements first. Well, is that because of like it's a cultural narrative, or is it that you can't afford to get married until your career has stabilized because otherwise you're not making enough money? Because that seems to be like that seems like it's a little bit more accurate. What do you think? You guys tell me. I don't think so. I'm seeing myself sitting in this chair and I feel like I'm really low. the period blood. This is gonna turn into you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with this, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this, and we're gonna have to find out who has more fun with the emote wall. Is it you or is it me? I love the emote wall. Even with a stable career, the market is too damn high. It's too damn high! Cost of living is ridiculous. Yes, I agree. Many now consider marriage a capstone to adult life, something to be accomplished only once career and other personal goals have been achieved. Okay, I'll give you that one, I guess. In a sorry, that was my hip. In a 2023 Pew review, only around a quarter of respondents said that being married is extremely or very important for having a happy life. Okay, that seems reasonable. About the same share said that having children is extremely or very important to having a happy life. By contrast, 71% of respondents said that having a job or a career they enjoy is extremely or very important to having a happy life. I mean, that bug! There's a bug in my room. There's a bug in my room. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, that makes sense to me because like you can have a partner and have a successful relationship without being married, right? You can do that without being married. So marriage is like an additional step where you involve the government and taxes and all that shit and like joint property and legal jargon into your relationship, which isn't necessary. So you don't, by not getting married, you're not really like ostensibly losing what could be like a loving relationship one way or another, right? On the other hand, children is gonna be half a dozen the other, right? Especially since children are so fucking expensive. Get rid of the mirror, then you won't see the bug. Oh, how could you say this to me? This reflects parents' attitudes as well. Most parents emphasize career and financial stability for their children over their children getting married and having children. Yeah, because you need money to survive, and to be healthy, you need to have like some kind of like emotionally and mentally healthy. You need some kind of stability in some capacity at the very least. So yeah, it makes sense for people to want their children and teach their children what they need to do to survive. But of course, for example, in another 2023 Pew review, just 21% of parents said it is extremely or very important for that their children get married, and about the same number said it was extremely or very important that their children have children of their own. Okay, so there is a group that seems to think that those two things are very important. I'm a Sith. Did you expect me to be nice? Oh, fair enough. By contrast, nearly 90% of parents said it is extremely or very important that their children be financially independent. Sure. Yeah. And about the same number same share said it was extremely or very important that their children have jobs they enjoy when they grow up. Imagine caring about your children's happiness. What a bunch of psychos, am I right? A trope common to graduation speeches across America is that one's life goals should revolve around finding one's passion, which predominantly refers to building a career or perhaps volunteering or seeing the world. Rarely are young people told that their schooling, whether high school or college, has prepared them for marriage and the family. Yeah, why would school prepare you for that? In what world is high school preparing you for marriage? Do you want that? Because that would mean things like sex education and budgeting, maybe. I mean, that's a small part of high school in Canada. I don't know if it is in the United States. While getting an education, establishing a career, and saving money can contribute to stable family life, hold on. Why do I get the feeling that if those things did exist in schooling, they'd say, like, these people, by they I mean literally the Heritage Foundation, they would say, I'm not being vague about this they, I'm talking about them. That's something that should probably get clicked. I'm not talking about a vague this they, I'm talking about them. They would, like, the Heritage Foundation would say that it was like a liberal agenda trying to tell people or indoctrinate kids into what family life should be, right? They should bring back home ec. Is home ec not exist in America anymore in the United States? As far as I know, home ec is still a class in high school in Canada. Home ec was a great class. Home ec was axed. Really? Home ec was axed. I didn't know that. Not big they, TM. A trope, blah, blah, blah. Well, getting an education, establishing a career, and saving money can contribute to a stable family life. What do you mean can contribute? You know what happens when you don't have these things? Whatever. The culture treats these typically as goals in themselves and not as preparation or assistance for having happy, healthy marriage and family life. Right, because marriage and family life are other contributing factors. They might be intertwined, but they are just in fact contributing factors. The resultant message is to focus on oneself and finding meaning through career success. Sure, yeah, finding meaning to yourself as opposed to finding meaning from outside influence is fine. What's the problem? What is the problem with this? I don't understand what their issue is. I guess maybe they just haven't gotten to that yet. My problem, one of the reasons why I'm bringing that up now and saying, like, maybe they haven't gotten to it yet is because every time they do this, they never actually get to that point. They don't tell you. They just kind of leave it hanging as if it's a problem. And it's part of that, we're just stating this and talking about it as if it's a problem rather than actually demonstrating how or in what way it's a problem. Part of the emphasis on career and financial stability may be due to a lack of trust in marital stability. With high rates of divorce, particularly in the 70s and 80s, younger generations saw the breakup of their parents' marriages in greater numbers than were seen in previous generations. Researchers find that divorce is linked with poorer confidence in marriage. Children of divorce may come to believe that they need financial independence and as an insurance policy if they do to get the divorce. Yeah, being financially independent so you don't get abused and end up in like the most toxic situations ever is a good idea. Period. End of sentence. All of these cultural pressures have had a cumulative effect so that today's Gen Z ranks having children as being married as number 7 and number 8 for men and number 11 and number 10 for women. Ooh. From the list of 13 measures for life success, behind having a full career, having disposable income, achieving financial independence, using one's resources to help others, owning a home, and being debt-free. So, that's interesting. So men put being married and having children higher on their priority list than women do. Oh, I actually find that interesting. I wonder why. Maybe it's all the cultural pressure. Only after that Oh, only after all of that, it seems, are young people ready to embrace marriage and family. No, it just means, like, these are my priorities. It doesn't mean they're necessarily going to happen in that order, but okay. Wow, these people are so out of touch. Well, this is what they want to make the world, right? This is what they're putting out there of what they want the world to be like as well. Saving America by putting oil slick on curbs outside of many Applebee's. Yo, Applebee's is dead and dead as fucking can. There used to be an Applebee's by the mall where in the city I live, and it's been gone for years. Auto deleted? What? What happened? What happened? Say what? Oh, that's my garage. Of course, young adults should be prepared to take on the responsibilities of marriage and family life before getting married. Okay, thanks. What? That's an odd sentence, but all right. That feels incomplete. That includes developing plans to provide for a family. But the culture continues to move the goalposts further in pursuit of ever expanding career and financial goals. Well, no. If you make finances reasonable and like owning a home reasonable and achievable, then getting married is not that far away. Right? Like, the only reason this seems like the goalposts have been moved so far is because housing is unaffordable, living expenses are out of control, and like the wage gap between like the highest earner and the lowest earner of any given company is insanely large. So yeah, of course. Fucking of course. Because being married isn't going to help you or make you feel better about being financially destitute. It might make it easier, it might make it worse. In fact, a lot of times, if you have a lot of financial stress, your relationships fall apart because you're stressed out by other things and there's nothing either of you can do about it. So, like, if you want to fix basically all of their shit, all you have to do is fix the fucking class gap. If you narrow the gap, instead of the gap being like this, the gap is like this, suddenly people are able to buy and afford houses when they're working full-time. And if people can afford to buy houses when they're working full-time, then they're gonna go buy houses, and then they'll go get married or whatever the fuck. Like, this isn't that complicated. It's only seems that complicated to these people because they wanted to fit a specific narrative, so they fucking have to hamstring shit together and shit into things. The shift in priorities takes massive investment of time, financial resources, and psychic and emotional effort. Psychic, like seeing the future? Compared to generations past, and given the current state of higher education and previous years of unchecked inflation, has produced mixed result. The state of higher education? You mean that it's expensive? Do I have live chat or top chat selected? Let me double check. Live chat. Live chat is currently selected. I can do it again if you want. So there's top chat. I'll reset it. There's live chat. Mind blown. I know. Previous years of blah blah blah. The shift, however, has certainly resulted in fewer marriages and later ones when they do form, which in turn has led to smaller families. Online dating, hookups, and pornography culture. Ooh, how's Texas doing with its fucking basically banning Pornhub? Oh my god, look at the fairy. Online has become the most common way couples meet in America today. Well, there are plenty of dating apps success stories. Studies show that couples who meet online and subsequently marry are 6 times more likely to get divorced within the first 3 years of marriage than are those who meet through in-person methods. Beyond higher divorce rates, couples who meet online are also less likely to get married in the first place. Most dating apps at their core are businesses with financial incentives that directly conflict with long-term marriage. These platforms profit from monthly fees, paid premium features, user agreements, and retention. After all, if their users formed long-lasting marriages, it would mean a loss of their customer base. Continuous scrolling and swiping encourages users to keep logging in to match with as many people as possible, often explicitly for short-term ends. with an algorithm that entices them to keep repeating the process and keep the monthly fees going. But for those who are open to marriage, what type of people are they actually looking for on these apps and elsewhere? Remember when I said they weren't going to get to the point of the thing that they were saying earlier? They were just saying it as if it's a bad thing and then just pretending or whatever? Yeah. Yet speaking of which, hey, become a member and send me the equivalent of 1 coffee a month. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, bye. That's the end of my ad. Online in quotes. Don't have your head up your ass about how reality works. Like and share the stream instead. Yeah, like and share the stream. Follow, subscribe, press buttons. Do it. You won't regret it, I promise. This is just describing some of the problems with capitalism, like unregulated capitalism. Often dating app users who are marriage-minded suffer from what sociologist Brad Wilcox described as the soulmate myth, which he defines as the idea that marriage is primarily about feeling an intensely emotional connection with the one that makes you happy and fulfilled, end quote. This contrasts with the historic understanding of marriage as being centered on shared life, duty, and virtue. Are we gonna seriously try to have a conversation of what is marriage? Because, like beyond a commitment? And, like, beyond a legal agreement? Yeah, they're accidentally critiquing capitalism. They're not doing it on purpose. They're accidentally critiquing capitalism. It's definitely not on purpose. The same idea can be captured in 3 words. Okay, sorry, before we go on. Do not marriage counselors make their money off of marriages that are struggling? So is that a capital incentive to keep for psychologists and marriage counselors to keep people from having a healthier relationship? By this, like, second grade understanding of the way product marketing works? Would you say that, like, it's not conducive for a school to have to have people graduate and just keep them perpetually in school, trying over and over again to get that fucking 1 credit they need? No? Does that sound like it doesn't make any sense? Is it not in a restaurant's best interest to make sure you leave still hungry so you will come back and eat more? No? That doesn't make any sense? Oh, go figure. Who'd have thought? Like, that does... Virtue? Just virtue? Yeah, no, nothing concrete, nothing specific. Shared life of duty and virtue, whatever the fuck that means. They're quoting Aristotle, Nicomachean Ethics. My guy. My guy, please. The same idea can be captured in 3 words that are emblematic? What the fuck does this word? I've never heard this word before. Emblematic? I'm looking it up. I'm looking up what emblematic means.
Emblematic.
Emblematic. Being or serving as an illustration of a type, or serving as a visible symbol or something abstract. The same idea can be captured in 3 words that are emblematic of the dating scene today. Fear of settling. ChatGPT strikes again. Emblematic? Guys, we're trying to sound smart and we're, like, maybe using this word correctly. And it's a bit of a stretch. This was drafted by a bot and checked or looked over by a brainwashed religious homeschooled teen and their grandparent And their grandparents that work in a conservative think tank. I agree. Yes. It was always a financial thing, at least partially. Marriage is not solely about love. Sorry, folks. Correct. I agree with you. Marriage is not about love. Marriage being about love is a relatively new concept and idea, although it's not like on its like it's not like marriages for love didn't exist in the past. It's just hey, we got the stretch. Hey, the audio didn't play for that. Probably because I didn't turn the audio on for that. I need to change whatever the fuck that thing is. That needs to change. We're gonna change that to the yelling goblin for sure. But we'll change it later. Thank you very much for the stretch. Greatly appreciated. Marriage was about binding social ties and alliances. Binding tie. It was about binding social ties, alliances, and as well as wealth distribution. So like, you know, like passing your last name down and like where things were going, right? The emblematic thing. What about the emblematic thing? That's a bot. That definition barely functions in this sentence. This fear of settling. This fear originates from seeing marriage more as something that is bought than as something that is built. Didn't they... Wait a minute. Didn't they just say that marriage is not... Like, the historic understanding of marriage is being centered on a shared life and duty of virtue, as opposed to the soulmate myth? I mean, realistically, what you want is you want to get both. Realistically, like, ultimately, a lot of the times, marriage is mostly just about mutual respect and joint interests. So, like, if you have a joint goal and joint interests, and you're mutually able to respect each other at, like, to the degree that you care about each other enough that you're going to work towards the same goal, then that's what you're agreeing to do. And so, like, if love is built in there or comes ahead of time, great. And if love comes after being married, also great. But, like, love can take a lot of different forms. Love isn't just, like, this overtly passionate, like, romanticized fucking shit all the time. Love can sometimes just be about being perfectly content. And that's, like... That's great. If you're content and happy enough, then what's the fucking problem? What are you chasing? But realistically, watch them drop the 3-word and then emblematic through line. Yeah, I know, right? But, like, I'm not here to tell you what marriages are or how to build a good marriage. It's just gonna depend on the individuals. And, like, maybe marriage just isn't as useful right now, and maybe you should find out if marriage isn't that useful right now. Why isn't marriage that useful right now? Is it because pooling your resources doesn't mean anything in today's economy because it's impossible regardless, so why bother? No? Is the first word fear? I don't know if the first word is fear, or like fear of settling, or if settling is the first word, or this is the 3 words. I don't fucking know. The former view puts extraordinary... This is just poorly written. This is... Because it's a bot. This is a fucking... AI wrote this shit. The former view puts extraordinary pressure on picking a person that hits every positive emotional trigger up front, while the latter view, the investment view, gives couples the framing for working through difficult seasons if or when the relationship no longer delivers immediate emotional satisfaction. You can have both. This isn't an either-or situation. You can have somebody who hits a bunch of emotional triggers for you up front and then work and build your relationship as you go. There's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. Or you can have somebody that you want to build a relationship with and have the emotional, passionate moments come afterwards. There's no rule that says that things have to happen in any specific fucking order. One survey from 2020 found that married people who believe they are invested in a marriage as long as their love lasts, so maybe that's the 3 words, are 50% more likely to think that their marriage could end in a divorce than married couples who do not consider divorce as an option. Well, duh. What? If you don't consider divorce as an option, how could you possibly... Huh? Moreover, a 2022 survey found that American couples that followed the soulmate model were twice as likely to get divorced, and in a 2020 survey in California found that couples who embraced marital permanence reported higher rates of marital satisfaction than did those who embrace a contingent view of marriage. This is playing chess with a pigeon. We're playing guys. We need to stop. We need to stop taking anything that this thing says ever, forever, at all. It's chess with a pigeon. We're talking to a robot. We're talking to a fucking robot, guys. This is not... Hold on. Wait a minute. It's my turn. It's my turn with the nail gun. It's my turn with the nail gun, alright? It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. Bricks! Brick, 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 brick. My turn! Yeah, that's right. I can throw bricks around, too. That doesn't sound correct. None of this sounds correct. Does any of this to anybody notice? Is anybody else noticing that this sounds like not a real person wrote this? That this hasn't really been thought through? Does anybody feel like they're arguing with Siri right now? When combined with online dating... Yeah, there we go. When combined with online dating, soulmate romance becomes even more illusory, since the presence of unlimited options creates the paradox of choice. Barry Schwartz, The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less. Hold on, I'm Googling The Paradox of Choice. I'm not Googling the book. I want to see if there's like a blurb on what they're referring to. Wikipedia. Da-da-da-da. Paradox of Choice. The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less is a book about overchoice written by American psychologist Barry Schwartz and first published in 2004 by Harper Perennial. In this book, Schwartz argues that eliminating consumer choice can greatly reduce anxiety for shoppers. The book analyzes the behavior of different types of people. The book argues that dramatic explosion in choice, from the mundane to the profound, challenges the balancing career, family, and individual needs, has paradoxically become a problem instead of a solution, and how our obsession with choice encourages us to seek that which makes us feel worse. I mean, I haven't read it, but okay. The appearance of countless alternatives often creates unrealistic expectations, causes decision paralysis, makes people question their choices, delays the formation of real relationships, and ultimately makes users less satisfied with the relationship they do start. With the relationships they do start. You mean life happens to them? Guys, that's just life happening. Guys, they're just describing life happening to you. That's just life. Get better at making decisions. Learn how you make decisions and why you make decisions, and to help you learn what you want. Do more philosophy, I guess? Yeah, you just need better decision-making methods. Right. And you know where you get that? You should be getting that at school. That's what you should be getting. You shouldn't be getting fucking marital lessons at school. What you should be getting is decision-making. How, like, critical thinking and decision-making. That's what you should be getting. Which is, guess what? Philosophy. Philosophy and psychology need to be taught in school way, way earlier on, because realistically, if they're taught at all, they're not taught until, like, elective courses in high school. And they should be core courses that you're taught in, like, starting in grade 6. If not earlier. Like, obviously, they're not going to give you, like, define critical thinking and write me an essay on it, but, like, decision making and why you've made this choice can happen earlier. But you'd have to, like, you know, cater it towards younger kids. This perpetual sense of what if there's someone better out there can sap a person's desire to commit to marriage, leading to fewer couples who meet online to get married. Yeah, if you think this, you shouldn't get married to the person that you're currently in a relationship with. In fact, if you're thinking this, you might want to consider why you're thinking this, and if the relationship you're in is actually a relationship you ought to be in. Huh? You took philosophy in school? Did you get to choose to take philosophy in school, or was it thrust upon you? And like, what year? If you don't mind sharing. Don't feel obligated, by the way. Fucking what? By the way, you should always come to me with you should treat me like a Dear Abby and send me and ask me for advice on things. I give the best advice. It was the same shit as the religion course, but with less Jesus. It was great. You started in grade 5. Oh, interesting. That's cool. What country are you in? That is always true no matter what. No matter what. This is not a call to eliminate online dating, which has helped some people to find spouses that may never have met otherwise. But young people should understand the pitfalls and limitations of these platforms rather than treating them as equal substitutes for more traditional ways of meeting spouses. Okay, so here's the thing. The more traditional ways of meeting spouses usually costs money. You have to go out and do things. You have to leave your house. So to do that, you need to make, 1, leaving your house appealing, and 2, affordable. And currently, it is neither of those things. So if it's not appealing and it's not affordable, nobody's gonna do it. Germany. That makes sense. The religious course. I took a religion course in like grade 11 or grade 12. I think it was grade 11. It was pretty good. My teacher was good. So I thought my teacher did a really good job. And I was religious at the time. So there's also that. I know people with that relationship FOMO mindset. Yeah, no, and here's the thing. Sometimes this is just something you naturally struggle with. Some people just, like, with certain types of anxiety and certain types of, like, whatever's going on in your brain and certain, like, instability in your life, this is just an issue that you might struggle with. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't be in a relationship. It just means that that's just something you have to cater to and something you have to live with. Life exists and happens to people sometimes. They should also know that many benefits of in-person meetings through a shared community that includes the tacit networks and wisdom of family, friends, church, work, and school ties over superficial online profiles. Why would you call it superficial? Like, you're trying to, like, it... Superficial is the wrong word. Shallow might be a better word for what you're trying to say, but superficial isn't quite the word you're looking for, I don't think. On the other hand, like, having community activities is a great way to go and meet people that might not cost you direct money. Like, if you go and do volunteer work, you get to meet people, right? But that volunteer work still does, you have to have the privilege to have the time to go and energy to go do that. And part of the problem is that people are working fucking 3 jobs to be able to afford to fucking live, so they don't have the privilege of going to fucking do that shit. So, like, what community events do you, like, some people will do, like, Friday Night Magic, go and play Magic the Gathering, but now you're dating somebody who plays Magic the Gathering, and that's basically the equivalent of dating a nerd crackhead. So, like, you know, understand that that's what you're getting into. But then again, you can go, like, have events and things that go on, like music nights and shit or whatever the fuck, karaoke nights, stuff that maybe, like, again, how much money are you willing to spend? Usually karaoke nights are free, but you're going to the bar to do it. What does your community do? Because now you're talking about something that the community needs to spend money on, like your city, like your local city, your district needs to spend money on to do, right? So where are you going to get the money? Taxes? Because a lot of the online profiles are fake? Yeah, but that's not a problem of, like, That's a different issue than what they're bringing up, right? They're not talking about fake things. They're talking about the online system being a capitalist nightmare, right? If you want to talk about stuff being fake, then that's a different thing. It's still a problem, don't get me wrong. But that's like that's a back end issue, not a front end issue. Online dating has also prioritized sexual activity over emotional connection and has led to an image-driven objectification of users. Yeah. Okay. The prevailing cultural narrative says that experimenting with multiple sexual partners helps youth and adults to understand their sexual preference and avoid sexual incompatibility if they ever seek marriage. I'll give you the second half. I'm not necessarily going to give you the first half. Research, however, shows that the move toward casual sexual relationships has profoundly harmed the quality of marriage. Slow but sure does timing of sex during dating matter. I mean, it matters to some people. This is such a complex topic that I feel like this report is not really able to fucking deal with. I've heard similar theories about too many choices leading to decision lock. Yes, there is something called decision lock that can exist. Yes, absolutely. Like, this is literally a document about nation building towards a better society. In their view, they're insane hypocrites. Yes, if you're trying to, like, like, the context of this is so bizarre. It's so weird. It's so strange. Hey, Generic, welcome. What's going on, my friend? It's so strange. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, what are they getting at? Each one of these things could be its own massive report if you were actually to put, like, what are the steps to change that is necessary, as opposed to just this nonsense. Nearly 90% of men and women who have ever married have engaged in premarital sex. Yeah, probably. That's probably accurate. The median number of sex partners among sexually active men and women ages 25 to 49 is 4.3 for women and 6.3 for men, according to 2015 to 2019 data from the National Survey of Family Growth. Among women ages 25 to 49, 53% reported having 5 or more partners during their lifetime. Among men in this group, 67% reported having 5 or more partners during their lifetime, and 28% reported having 15 or more partners. Are they just critiquing the fucking online dating, or like the dating scene and like chat, like what is it, Chad bro fucking bullshit? I don't know. I like how this is like fucking ages 25 to 49. Is somebody who's getting married at 44 expected not to have sex all the way to the age of 44? Oh, Jesus Christ, are you okay? Holy fuck. Are you alright? Bro! I'm glad to see you're back at least. I hope you're okay. Holy fuck. Researchers find that having multiple premarital sexual partners is associated with lower marital stability. For example, well, is that not basically because of your expectations and societal pressure, not because of there's actually a literal problem with having sex before marriage? Like purity culture? This sounds like some Jared Genesis shit. My guy. Somebody should send this. Can Jared Genesis read? First question. Second question, if he can read, has anybody sent this to him before? Because he should read this. They want the Wild West, accept the entire world, but they won't shut the fuck up and stop acting like they're a conduit for Aristotle and Plato working towards some idealized utopia. Blah. Something like that. For example, those with 1 to 8 premarital partners have about a 150% greater likelihood of divorce than those with no premarital sexual experience have. Something, if you've never had anything different, you don't know any better. well, I really love my partner, but they suck at sex. You know, you can stay married in that scenario if you want, and there are ways around that, like opening your marriage up or something, or being like, hey, listen, I have this need that you're not able to fulfill. I'm gonna go get that need somewhere else. But this group of people has already put the caveat on it that you can't, that's not an applicable solution. Right? And like, that's absolutely an applicable solution. As long as you can get like consenting adults and you're able to fucking work that out, that's fine. If you want to talk about historically ancient time, whatever the fuck, about what counts as marriage, concubines were a thing. Brothels have always been a thing. Admittedly, it's been stilted in one direction for a particular gender, but that doesn't mean like you can't do it the other way around. Man, I don't even have a problem with purity culture that much. My problem with fucking purity culture is that fucking they want to push it on everybody else and get it on people who are, like, first off, they use it to shame people. Second off, they fucking use it, they try to push it onto people that are too young to fucking know. I don't mind if you want to educate your kids about purity culture being an option, but over fucking romanticizing virginity as if it's important in any way, shape, or form. I don't even know why we fucking call it anything at this point, to be honest. And second off, trying to treat it like it's like some fucking chastity is a big fucking deal. And it's like really just not that important. It's important in some cases, but it doesn't like lower your value as a person. And that's the problem. And if you're teaching that shit and you're teaching that kind of shit to kids, you're gonna fuck them up. If you don't know for a fact that fucking sexual repression in a culture makes people do weird shit, all you need to do is go look at Pornhub statistics from the United States and see who from what state is watching what porn. And then look at how sexually repressed or liberated, quote unquote, that fucking state is. You get such a spectrum even just from looking at the United States. It's crazy. Anyway, people with 9 or more sexual partners have about triple the likelihood of divorce than those with no premarital sexual partners have. And you know, some people just don't want to get married, and some people are just not good at marriage. Some people just don't do well in long-term relationships. So marriage isn't built for everybody, and that's okay. And being forced into it and being societally pressured into it leads to more divorce and more unhappy, toxic couples, right? Athens said, I just have one thing to say, conservatives, it's none of your fucking business. Well, you know, something totally not gay. something totally not gay, guys. Don't worry about it. In this study, researchers Jesse Smith and Nicholas Wolfinger controlled for multiple factors, including biological sex, religiosity, sexual attitudes, and psychological attributes. They concluded that the link between premarital sexual activity and divorce is likely due not simply to personal differences between those who are more sexually active and those who are less sexually active before marriage, but to poorer quality relationships. So everything you said earlier didn't matter? Is that what you just told? This document is such a waste of time. I feel like I'm fucking... Can you guys smell my brain melting? Researchers find that those who wait until after marriage to have sex with their partner have much greater marital quality, relationship satisfaction, sexual quality, communication, and stability than do persons who have sex with their partner prior to marriage. Compatibility or restraint, the effects of sexual timing on marriage relationships. Journal of Family Psychology, Volume 24, Number 6, 2010, pages 766 to 774. Scholar Archives. The general decline in sexual mores against Really? Sexual mores? Schmores? I hate this document so much. This is a document that was never meant to be seen by human eyes. Give me garlic bread and I'll be happy. Yeah, I'm a pretty easy person to please too. Like, feed me and water me and I'm a happy person. Never even made it gender related. Just pick a partner who respects you. Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about like sexual. I think sexual compatibility is a real thing, but I think that's something that can be worked on as well. Like, I don't think that's something that you have to necessarily have like 100% success rate right out the gate, because you have to learn about your partner and the things they like, right? Schmores. We're on board for Schmores sexual mores. Fuck this document. Fucking Christ. The general decline in sexual mores against premarital sex, or what used to be called fornication, from the 1960s onward was tightly as— Why? Why did you say that? Why is that in this document? Oh my god! I'm gonna undulate. I'm gonna use my abs and undulate away into the distance, into the sunset, over the hills, over the river, and through the woods. To grandmother's house I go. From the 1960s onward. What was the 3 words? They never told us what the 3 words were. From the 1960s onwards was tightly associated with expanded pornography use. Was it? Or did you just know about it more? I don't know about that one. The trend culminated with the 1973 Supreme Court decision of Miller versus California that ultimately led to widespread decriminalization of hardcore pornography. So people were doing the porn. It was just not legal for people to be doing the porn. The Miller court invented a community standards test without considering the original public meaning of the First Amendment and acted as a one-way ratchet for liberalizing pornography. Guys, they're coming for the porn. Guys, you know how they were like in Project 2025, they were really like against abortion and all that shit, and they've been trying to overturn Roe v. Wade for ages? They're gonna try to overturn Miller versus California to make porn illegal again. These are the lamest lamers that ever lamed. I know! Could you be such a fucking loser who hates fun? These people are the definition of party poopers. Like, nobody's allowed to have any fun ever for any reason. Fuck you. Milk toast. White bread. Wonder Bread milk toast. Vanilla ass. You're only allowed to have sex in missionary position. Ratchet porn. Can I get prawns in the chat, please? Can we get prawns? This bot has never been in the— I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm gonna try. Wurzburg? Is it Wurzburg? Oh my god. Prawns. Prawns! Give me prawns! Where are my prawns? Thank you for prawns! Hey, I pronounced it right. Good job, me. Prawns. Prawns. Shrimp. Yeah, let's go. Boom. Prawns. Yay! Let's go. Yeah, so I guess that's what they're gonna go after next, and they're gonna try to make a First Amendment right argument about it, which is like, the fuck? As a result, pornography is now ubiquitous. Even if you made porn illegal, the internet existing kind of, like, makes porn ubiquitous. And its effects are now known. Current research confirms past intuitions. Pornography is a decidedly negative force and influence on the family. Why do I feel like that's kind of only within a specific scope? Right? Like, if you have people who are split on their opinions about whether or not looking at porn is cheating, right? Like, is jerking off to porn considered cheating, yes or no? You know what? I'm gonna put a poll up. I'm gonna put a poll. The poll's only gonna be on YouTube, guys. Sorry, just because out of the sake of making my life a little bit easier. Is fapping... Oh, fapping's gonna get me in trouble. I'll spell it with a PH. Fapting to prawn cheating question mark. Yes, no. Cause like I have a little bit of an opinion about that, but my opinion isn't really important. I want to know what you guys think. So is unrestrained capitalism also a negative effect on the family? Yes! Yes, it is! I would agree! The definition of prawn is going to be so wide that it encompasses flappers from the 1920s. They're this lame. Yes. Are you showing an ankle? Prawn. You think they're gonna define... Joke's on you if you think they're gonna define prawn. No, people are saying no. I'm gonna give you guys a minute to vote. I want at least like 15 votes in out of 21 people watching. Get your votes in, guys. They're too scared of prawn to define prawn. Fapping to anime prawn doesn't count. It's not real. I think it depends on your relationship. I think that that's just a conversation, in my opinion. That's my opinion. In my opinion, I think it depends on your relationship. If your partner is uncomfortable with that, I think you should respect that and have that conversation. And if that's a line for you, then that's a line for you and that's fine and nobody's done anything wrong. But if you know that your partner is uncomfortable with that and you're participating in it anyway, I think that that's an issue. Right? Oh, that's an interesting point. April brings up consider live prawn cheating. So if you're like watching, you mean like if you're on Pornhub and you're watching somebody live and you're like participating? What about the strip club? Do you think going to the strip club is cheating? Can you have an AI watch it for you? Can I have an AI read this and critique it for me? That would be funny. Can we do that as an experiment? Some people are like strict about that kind of stuff, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to be strict about that kind of stuff. I think it just needs to be like a discussion that you have with your significant other. I could never be this lame of a mayo monkey. Thank good gosh I'm brown and was raised in a cool, accepting culture. I'm gonna end the poll. 100% of people said no. I'm gonna say no, but I'm going to say with the caveat that this is a discussion that you need to have with your partner. Regardless. Don't make the assumptions. I think making assumptions is really fucking a bad idea. You need to have the conversation. You think you can cheat at the strip club, but going to one isn't inherently cheating. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright. A discussion for later. That sounds like a debate hub topic. We should have a debate hub topic about it. I think it's ultimately going to come down to personal preference and personal, like, comfortability. Anyway, increased pornography use is linked with lower relationship commitment and quality, and conversely, couples in which neither partner uses pornography will report the highest level of relationship stability, commitment, and satisfaction. The citation for that is some fucking, a few, actually. That's a bunch, and I don't care enough. I don't care enough to check the citations of it. If we checked all the citations for this document, we'd be here forever. When you have a society that already looks down on porn and has a bias against its information and its data collection about what the standards are, then you're gonna have a problem with a lot of the studies. On the other hand, porn can be bad if you're doing too much of it and if it's setting unrealistic expectations for your time in bed and for your relationships. But you can say that about anything. Too much is a problem. That's why it's the "too" is in front. Porn use is also associated with an increased risk of divorce. Again, it depends. I don't view divorce as an inherently negative thing. I view divorce as a reasonable thing to do under specific circumstances. It's just a direction, it's a tool, it's an option. Just like how violence is always an option. Not that you should be using it, but it is always an option. Anybody who says otherwise is lying to you. And is probably going to take advantage of that, let's be real. Users are nearly twice as likely than non-users to be divorced across a 6-year span. As Brian Willoughby and Jason Carroll from the Institute of Family Studies note, quote, there are many possible reasons why pornography use is consistently linked with lower satisfaction. Many experts have highlighted how the false fantasy of pornography fosters unrealistic expectations in relationships. Pornography is always young, always available, and always caters to the user's personal preference and desires. Ellipses. Over time, this constant comparison to an unrealistic standard lowers sexual satisfaction and eventually lowers overall relationship satisfaction. Yeah, so using too much porn and not being able to differentiate fantasy from reality is a problem. But again, you could say that about anything. You could say that about any kind of prawn. You could say that about fucking romance novels. You could say that about anything. So that is either the use of too much or a lack of knowing the difference between reality and fucking fantasy. Yes, if you put your expectations of fantasy onto reality, you're gonna have a bad time. This is stupid. That's not a reason to ban porn. That's a reason to learn to be better at being a person. We're back to you need to educate people on their critical thinking and decision-making skills. Pornography treats a person's body as a mere consumer good. Not always, not inherently. Fucking going to my regular 9-to-5 job treats a person's body as a mere consumer good. What do you mean? The consumer is the company. Ron gives unrealistic expectations how in time the cable repairman arrives. Yeah, right? They do say that with their soulmate thing. Yeah, kinda. It has been said about all kinds of media. Yeah, no, it applies to all kinds of media. Rather than as a whole person to be respected and valued. Guys, anybody who works a regular 9-to-5 job, do you feel respected and valued by the consumer, which is the company you're working for? Because I bet you odds are no if you're from the United States. And it often portrays violent and demeaning sexual behaviors such as choking and simulated rape and torture. Often is doing a fucking heavy lifting. I guess we know what's on these guys' fucking search histories. It's not real. Demeaning sexual behaviors. Demeaning. Young adults exposed to pornography are likely at higher risk for developing unhealthy beliefs and narcissistic approaches to sexual relationships, even before they have even had any real-life experience with romantic relationships. Well, a romantic relationship and a sexual relationship are two different things. Definitively two different things. So trying to, bait and switch them there is kind of telling, don't you think? Researchers also find that young adults who use pornography are more likely to engage in casual sex, along with being more likely to be perpetrators and victims of sexual aggression. Adolescence and Pornography, a review of 20 years of research. It is no surprise that evidence shows that its regular consumption hinders healthy and stable relationships. Well, again, that depends entirely. That's so situational. Also, as a Hispanic man, choking? Me? Yes, please. Very funny. Consider becoming a member, liking and subscribing, because welcome to the shit show. It's so weird listening to like a right-wing extremist think tank using a bot to write out a fucking what is this again? A review, a fucking research page. It's not a paper. Like a fucking, what is it called? Whatever. Like, this is fucking, like, the number of filters of nonsense that we're trying to like look through right now is fucking crazy to me. The degree of separation between like us and the author is like, the authors of this is so far removed. Drug abuse. Drug abuse, including of alcohol, cannabis, opioids, and prescription drugs, has reached crisis proportions, and family formation has been one of its many casualties. Drug enforcement must be prioritized, and further decriminalization must be opposed. Consider that fentanyl, an opioid 50 to 100 times more powerful than morphine, is fentanyl 50 to 100 times more powerful than morphine? Also, 50 to 100 times seems like a really big fucking margin. Hey, Shano, what's going on? Is now responsible for more overdose deaths for 18-year-olds to 45-year-olds Americans than motor vehicle crashes, gunshots, or even the AIDS epidemic at its peak in the mid-1990s. The institution, and I don't know if that's true. The international, how often did they have to tell the AI to increase the level of hypocrisy? Good question. Like, you can tell the AI didn't, like, know what was written beforehand, right? Because why would it? That's just not how they work. Victoria says, as if they want their women to tell them, no, I don't want today, or I want it that way, or things that I like. That sounds like so much incel bro is gross. Yeah, you're right. Fentanyl is crazy potent for its volume. Yes. Okay. The National Institute of Drug Abuse, the NIDA, reports that in 2022, 170,941 Americans died of drug overdose with synthetic opioids, principally fentanyl, accounting for 73,838 of those fatalities. That is equivalent to a fully loaded Boeing 737 crash with no survivors every single day. Americans will use anything but the metric system. Boeing, don't come after me. I didn't write this. It wasn't me. What? For how long? Every single day for how long? A year? There isn't 73,838 people on one Boeing 737. But how many football fields? Oh my god. Hi, welcome. Welcome to this shit. The NIDA also reports that among adults 19 to 30, approximately 42% reported using cannabis in the past year, 29% reported using in the past month, and 10% reported using 20 times more or in the past month. Are you trying to equivocate cannabis to fentanyl? How many of the ODs from drug abuse happened due to cannabis? Can we go back to talking about s'mores? The chronic nature of addiction often makes the addict less emotionally available and less reliable, which undermines the trust necessary for lasting partnerships. Sure, yeah, okay. Research indicates it's harder to have a relationship to somebody who's got an addiction problem. Okay. I clicked on the stream and there's an article about plane crashes on screen and Chesh is shouting, it wasn't me! Is it 0? I bet it's 0. I bet it's 0 too. I would also bet that it is in fact 0. This is the equivalent of 5,369 football fields. Are you sure it's not 42069? No one has died. No one has ever OD'd on weed. One guy died while running from the cops because his bricks of weed crushed him in the accident. Actually? I'd believe that. Oh my god. Research indicates that active substance abuse correlates with delayed marriage, increased cohabitation without commitment, and reduced likelihood of transitioning from dating to more serious relationships. Okay, so people aren't getting into toxic marriages that they shouldn't be getting into because of other issues. And that's a problem for these people, I guess. People self-medicate for a reason, maybe universal healthcare, including mental health care. That's a really good point. It's almost like maybe people would be less reliant on drugs if they had different healthcare options. Maybe? A user's family is not immune to a drug's effects. Substance abuse can lead to violence against or neglect of other family members, generating lifelong scars and consequence. In addition, drug use can have transgenerational effects. Ooh. And may lead to a reduction in the fertility of men and women. Yeah, it depends on the drugs. Lots of different drugs can have lots of different side effects. Correct. And like, you can overuse weed. It's called burning out. There are other things that can happen. I mean, you can ask EMP about it. He's talked about it before. You can go check out his channel. He talks about the effects of excessive use of varying drugs, and specifically weed. He was THC, I believe he was speaking on recently. Not surprisingly, children from substance-affected homes face greater challenges forming their own stable families in adulthood. You know, it's interesting that you have to switch to drugs and not specifically weed. You talk about fentanyl and then switch to weed, jumped into reliability and addiction, and then jump into, like, drug-related violence. Although half of that fucking violence is being committed because of, like, the illegality. Particularly if you're gonna talk about fucking weed. Chemically synthesized and lightly regulated products containing THC, the primary psychoactive compound in marijuana, have exploded across America, including in the form of gummies and kid-attracting packaging. Oh, you need to fuck off with that. You give me fun flavors of weed or else I'll come for you. Anyway, I'm in Canada, so it doesn't fucking matter to me. But, on the other hand, that's just stupid. That's just fucking stupid. If you want more regulation on fucking THC, then put more regulation on THC. If you want it better tracked, then track it better. Then do your licensing differently. We do it in Canada and it's fine. You know who's not getting weed gummies in their fucking Halloween candy? Any child literally ever. That is not fucking happening. Encounters with open drug users in major cities is rampant and in many instances are difficult to avoid even around schools. You mean that people might eat their gummies when getting their kid from school or something? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh my god, these people need to watch more Sesame Street. Does chemically synthesized just mean cooking? I guess. I guess. Maybe fucking, I don't know, weed lemonade, fucking gummies, fucking baked goods, brownies, extracts, yeah. With so much pressure on the American family from drug abuse, exotic and new addictive chemical compounds must be added to the government's controlled substance schedules with greater speed, and proposals to further decriminalize drugs, especially marijuana, must be resisted. All right, well, you got weed for a little while, guys. Now you're gonna get yeeted because they want women to have more kids. They're treating the symptoms as the problem. That's a good point, Red Cedar. Yeah, you're right. That is exactly what they're doing. Vaping, what they're actually doing is they're presenting these symptoms as if they are the problem, and that the solution is they want the government to be able to control your family and put restrictions on who's allowed to get married and enforce pregnancies. Starbucks is literally a drug den. These people in the 1600s wanted coffee and chocolate to be illegal. Yes. Coffee is basically low dose cocaine. I mean, same with sugar, right? Sugar does sugar not like fucking activate the same fucking part of the brain as crack, as cocaine does, if I'm not mistaken. On the other hand, like there's so much corn syrup in fucking everything in the United States. It's insane. Have you ever looked at the fucking back, like the ingredients list on the shit in your grocery store? It's crazy. Don't you know marriage solves all this? More marriage and more babies solves all this shit. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Corn syrup is my blood type. It do be like that. Is that how it feels as an American? I'm not American, so I don't know. In the United States, does it feel like the fucking corn syrup is your fucking blood? It's in your blood as a true-blooded American's blood is corn syrup. It's just corn. It's all corn all the way down. Vaping, the gateway to THC and hard drug use for many teens, oh my god, must be further restricted as alternative nicotine treatments for those seeking to quit smoking are common and readily available. No more vaping, everybody. Nobody's allowed to have any fucking fun. Nobody's allowed to have any fucking fun. The myth of an overburdened earth. Oh no. Oh no. All right, I'm gonna go get some more tea before we get into the myth of an overburdened earth. All right, I'll be right back. I promise. I'm just gonna get more tea. We'll be back in a moment after these messages or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. I'll be back in a minute. 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 Hello, I have returned. The music that was playing was the Lakebed Temple, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and the song that was playing before this was the Comb Reef from Endless Ocean. So, here's the link to this video if you wanted to check it out. I'll pass it to you. So you can check it out for yourself. It's a cool playlist. Alright. Did I miss anything while I was gone getting more, tea? No, okay, we're good. Alright. Back into this. I like how spooky the music is for what we're reading. It seems appropriate. Anyway, the myth of an overburdened Earth. Many of the current bad government policies discussed in this special report. All right, it's a special report. Oh, thank you. Bless. Bless the tea. Bless for the tea. Thank you for the stretch also, by the way. In the special report have suppressed family growth, ostensibly by accident rather than by design. Their stated goal might be to make the business environment more competitive, to help the poor, or to make education more widespread, but they unintentionally result in fewer healthy families being formed. Oh, really? You don't say. You mean that making education more available means that less healthy families are formed? Or are you just saying that the type of family that you want being formed at the rate, because they're not even complaining that less families are being formed, they're also complaining about when those families are being formed. Those families need to be formed by the time you're before you're 25. If they're not formed before you're 25, nope, not a good enough marriage, nope, doesn't count. So this is pretty fucking crazy. One cannot avoid the fact, however, that many influential Americans see the birth of each new child as a net loss for the Earth's environment, and many younger people believe them. In 2023, President Biden said that young voters believe that their whole generation is damned because of climate change, which climate activists deem as an existential threat to life on Earth. Yeah, 'cause it is. 'Cause it is those things. And yeah, they believe that. That is a thing that young people believe. They have no hope for the future. So having no hope for the future means they're going to be less invested in the future they don't think exists. So your solution to that is just to force them to get married earlier, make them less educated, make them have fucking less money, and force them to have more children? Yeah, it's not active. Good point, Letty. It is not just activists. And also, hi, Al. It's also not just activists who say that. It's fucking everybody who knows what the fuck they're talking about. The media do everything they can to make sure no one misses this message. Everything that they can? That's not true. Go ask any scientist that's trying to get a message out to talk about how the fucking media treats them. Especially in the United States. During every hurricane season, the public is told that extreme weather is getting worse and that climate change will only make weather patterns more violent and extreme. The prevailing view among the corporate media is that the world must keep global warming from rising above 2 degrees Celsius relative to pre-industrial temperatures, lest the planet careen over a climate cliff. Victoria says, and maybe you don't want crotch goblins if you don't think they can live. Yeah, if you think the world is so shit, why do you want to bring a new person in to live a shit life? How dare you have empathy for your own children? What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you thinking? Activists and political leaders claim that humanity has less than a decade to save the planet from carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases. That's kind of a bit of a misrepresentation in my opinion, but fine. Hey, how's that hole in the ozone doing because of all the aerosol cans everywhere? Oh, you mean it went away? You mean we fixed it because we banned specific products and usages of specific products? Meaning that regulation works and the world didn't come to an end because one thing was banned? Wow. And we're not all, fucking enslaved because of it? Go figure. The climate change alarmism demoralizes young people who believe it. The only solutions the depopulators offer to save the planet are drastic reductions in quality of life and drastic reduction in population, or both. So now you've jumped from climate change to depopulators. Whatever the fuck. Like, I know what you mean, but like, really? It is no surprise then that so many people see children as a threat, choose not to bring any into the world, and criticize those who do. To encourage the formation of families, Americans must confront these claims directly. Here's the good news! Good news, everyone. Shano says, can the Heritage Foundation tell animals that normally hibernating to go to bed causes climate change isn't real? Because climate change isn't real? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Although I do kind of wish these people spent more time trying to talk to bears. If you catch my drift. Here's the good news, everyone. The facts are on the side of humanity. The world is not becoming more hostile to life. To the contrary, government data shows that the world is getting better for human life in nearly every measurable way, and it has been for decades. Oh boy. On many measures, the environment is cleaner than it was even a few decades ago. Yeah, because we've been working on it for decades. Oh, thank you very much. So for the subscribble, that's a follow. That's the follower. Thank you so much. So for, oh no, it was. It's a subscribe with Prime. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Therisix? Tell me if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Twitch, my guys. It's almost like we've been spending decades making the environment better and investing in green energy. This is the thing that people complain about Mark Carney in the conservative think tanks, right? The X is silent, all right. Theris. That's actually a really good handle. I like that. One of the things that people complain about, like conservatives will complain about Mark Carney, is that he has investments in these climate change initiatives about like driving green energy investment from big name investors because they don't like that he had any influence on big name investors at all. But like, duh. I wonder why fucking the air is getting cleaner. It's almost like what year was the Paris Accords? Wait, hold on. What year was the Paris Accords? Hold on. The Paris Agreement. Yeah. 2016. Yeah, a decade ago? You mean a decade ago, roughly. All of the major fucking countries, first world countries, got together and decided to reduce all of their carbon emissions and invest more into clean energy. This is disregarding like the individual groups that were already doing this, but like actual governments came together to make this decision for countrywide. And that 10 years ago, on many measures, the environment is cleaner than a decade ago. I can't imagine how that fucking happened, guys. I don't know. What the fuck? End me! End my suffering! I want to die! No! No! Look at this! Look! The Paris Agreement, also called the Paris Accord or Paris Climate Accords, is an international treaty on climate change that was signed in 2016. The treaty covers climate change, mitigation, adaptation, and finance. The Paris Agreement was negotiated by 196 parties at the 2015 United Nations Climate Change Conference near Paris, France. As of January 2026, 194 members of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or the UNFCCC, are parties to the agreement. Of the 3 UNFCCC member states, which have not ratified the agreement. The only major emitter is Iran. The United States, the second largest emitter, withdrew from the agreement in 2020 and rejoined in 2021 and withdrew again in 2026. Look at this map. State parties, signatories, parties that withdrew, parties also covered by the European Union ratification, and the agreement does not apply. Oh, look at the biggest landmass, the Antarctica. The penguins aren't participating, guys. Oh my god. Look at the map. It's fucking everybody. And the United States, the second largest emitter, are in, out, in, out, in, out, and specifically because of fucking Donald Trump and these fucking people who are acknowledging that the fucking environment has been cleaner than decades ago. They're accidentally admitting that fucking the climate accords are working. I need the dodgeball sound effect. You know the one I'm talking about? Donk! That's how I feel. That's how I feel right now. I just feel like I'm being hit in the face with a fucking dodgeball. Turns out that when you let a criminal run the country, crazy shit happens. Who would have known? I know. United States, please. I'm begging you, please. Stop! Stop in the name of the law, criminal scum! Why? How? How did this document get published? On many measures, the environment is cleaner than it was even a few decades ago. Resources are more abundant than ever, and it has never been easier to feed the world's population. Much work remains to be done. This includes the efforts to support freedom, property rights, and prosperity in underdeveloped parts of the world. I'm gonna vomit. It doesn't matter if it works. The billionaires need that oil money. Yeah, a handful of them need that. They need that AI money too, right? It's very important. The technologies that have made this possible have downside effects on health independent of climate change. Okay, now Cedar was getting ahead of themselves. Now is when you bring up that windmills cause cancer. The technologies that have made this possible have many downside effects on health independent of climate change that needs to be addressed. Okay? You think they're gonna, like, actually go through and indicate and make it clear what those things are? I don't fucking think so. I don't fucking think so. I turned the audio on now so that if you guys are doing stretches and sending messages and shit, they're gonna fucking pop up properly. I might turn the fucking down a little bit. I don't know how loud that's gonna be. Bug! For instance, local environments play a role in the rise of chronic diseases, including autoimmune disorder and food intolerances, but none of these concerns relate to carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. What? The technologies that have made this possible may have downside effects on health independent of climate change that need to be addressed. For instance, local environments may play a role in the rise in common... Thank you for the boop.
Athens 619 just redeemed boop.
Boop. Chronic diseases include autoimmune disorders and food intolerances, but none of these concerns relate to carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. What are you saying? Robot who wrote this, what the fuck are you saying? This doesn't mean anything. What are you talking about? Why? The technologies that made this possible may have downside effects on health independent of climate change that need to be addressed. For instance, local environments may play a role in the rise of chronic disease, including autoimmune disorders and food intolerances, but none of these concerns relate to carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Then why are you bringing it up? Why, there, you're talking about, like, local ecology. You mean local environments like Flint, Michigan? Like, fucking, what are you talking about? This is hideous, infuriating. It's heinous, my guy. Meandering ignorance. They're not going to talk about habitat destruction to build farms to feed the masses? No! Habitats and herbicides are not CO2? This is a bot. This is ChatGPT, my guy. This is... Moreover, fixation on carbon dioxide could... As if dealing with carbon dioxide issues in the atmosphere ignores this. It's just, they're different things. Moreover... I've taken about as much as I can take up the ass of this right now. Moreover, fixation on carbon dioxide could people who do porn get paid more than the amount of fucking I'm taking right now for my brain. Moreover, I can't do it. I will center myself. I have no mouth and I must scream. I have a mouth and my internal screaming is becoming external. It's eeping out. Alright. I can do it. Moreover, fixation on carbon dioxide could very well distract from addressing such problems. Brick. Throw the brick. Bricks. Throw bricks. Throw the cheese. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can explain it in one word. Squirrel. Oh, I thought it was 3 words, and they never told us what the words were. I can only solve one problem at a time, but that doesn't mean someone else can't solve a different problem. Well, they're literally saying we need to solve the carbon dioxide problem, but if we focus on that, then we can't do anything about local stuff, and then we should not focus on that and do local stuff instead. But then if we do local stuff, we can't do that other thing, so therefore we should do nothing. Their argument is that we should do nothing, and there is no problem. Which is clearly not the case, since they accidentally admitted it worked. Bricks! Bricks! Bricks everywhere! Globally, human beings are releasing more greenhouse gases than ever before. But models have predicted far more warming than observed in the real world. Yeah, because we made adjustments, so that way the predictions wouldn't come true. That's why they're predictive. So we're like, hey, if we keep doing this way, it's going to be a problem, so let's not do that and change what we're doing so it doesn't become that thing. You mean it was successful? Moreover, contrary to model predictions, hurricanes and other extreme weather events are not growing more deadly or more common. That's not true. If you're curious about this, go to Debate Hub and go check out my conversation with Maddie, who is a meteorologist. To get policy right, policymakers need to know how CO2 affects the global climate and how the climate affects human life and well-being. Open questions involving the scientific details remain, but the following is known. 1. Human beings have never been safer from climate-related threats. 2. To preserve human life and well-being, the developed and skill-developing world must use hydrocarbons until people discover something better. 3. When it comes to hazardous bulk population and acute disease, the environment in the United States is much cleaner than it was even a few decades ago. You're welcome? 4. Policymakers must balance the possible environmental costs of CO2 emissions and effects on temperature against their beliefs, such as greener forests, richer agriculture, shorter shipping routes through the Arctic, and usable tundra. Smitty's got a good point. We discovered nuclear energy a lifetime ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. Yeah, no, I got you. You're right. You're right. Let's just...
I disagree infinitely about the way that was dumb, and I hate it. And I hate it. By the way, I hate it. I think it's dumb, and I hate it. And I think that it's dumb, and it's stupid. I think that it's stupid.
And I'm talking without turning this on. I'm saying, fuck. Shit ass. Mark is me right now. I think this is stupid, and I hate it. And I hate it. And I think it's dumb, and it's stupid. Also, it was dumb, and I hate it. Also, I think that for each section of this, I could try and find, like, does anybody know, like, experts in this field? Like, I think I could bring, like, Maddie on to talk about climate change, right? Climate change stuff. But I think that, like, if I were to, like, section this off and I were to take, like, if I could find a professional in each of these fields to bring them on for a discussion, would you guys be interested in that? Would that be something you'd be interested in? Would that be of value to you? We would just use this document as like a jumping off point. Yes, 100%. Let me know. Also, this is going to be on YouTube later, so leave it in you can leave me a comment down below if you have like a priority list of what you would like to see. Like, I can already think of like Maddie would be willing to come on and talk to me about this, but like the other ones might be a little bit hard to find. So if you guys know of any experts that might be able to or willing to talk about this or these kinds of things, let me know. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, there's a far more of a delay on YouTube than there is on Twitch. Aren't rivers supposed to catch fire? I don't know, man. Yeah, let's talk about the fucking... Yeah, we're no safer than ever. You guys want to talk about the fucking crazy fires that fucking happened this last summer? Both in California and in Canada? Like, what do you think the fires are going to look like this year? Note that points 1 and 3 are the result of economic development. The best way to become safe from climate-related dangers is to develop energy resources and grow economically. What the fuck do you think this is? Are we a joke to you? One need not assume, as depopulators do, a trade-off between human well-being and the protecting of the environment. If human beings are smart, they can have their cake and eat it too. If, unlike you, you shorter shipping routes through the Arctic, usable tundra, screaming. When enduring absolute poverty, people focus on the fight for their basic survival. However, when an economy reaches a level where people's basic needs are met with ample food, clothing, shelter, and plentiful energy, their priorities change. Such prosperity allows families to look toward the future and care about a cleaner, more sustainable environment. So the problem is the economic disparagement, like we've been saying the entire time? This is a random fucking paragraph that makes no fucking sense in this context. What are you saying? No human eyes were ever meant to read this document. Not one. Not a single human was ever supposed to read this. And I'm so mad about it. I'm so upset. In its early stages, industry can take a toll on a local environment. It can, yes. It doesn't have to. It depends on what it's doing. But that changes over time. Only if that's something that you do, or are you just suggesting that, like, the ecology in the area adapts to the existence of the industry? Because that's partially true and partially not the case, because some of that adaptation is just shit dying off. On the other hand, Florida underwater? Blah, 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 blah. As a result, the most developed countries are now also the cleanest. The United States is the second worst! They're only behind Iran! What are you talking about? I hate this document so much! At least with respect to toxins that scientists can easily identify. What does that mean? Treating carbon dioxide as a poppulant, which it is not, obscures this fact. Oh, a pollutant, sorry. Treating carbon dioxide as a pollutant, which it is not, obscures this fact. Chesh, we want to stop after this part? Yes, yes, yes. We're stopping after this section. This is the last section we're covering today. US air quality trends have been improving for decades. Oh, really? And the globe continues to become greener. Oh, really? And despite a quintupling of the global population since 1928, deaths from natural disasters and extreme weather have gone down by more than 90% over the past 100 years. Oh, really? Food prices have gone up recently because of foolish inflationary policy, but food prices as a percentage of income have continued to go down over decade after decade. Even many of rising health problems, such as obesity and type 2 diabetes, stem not from a lack of food, but from its abundance. No, it's fucking, yes, but no, it's the corn syrup in everything. I hate this document so much. The poor in the United States are more likely to be obese than the rich. Yeah, because of the corn syrup! And the stress! Oh, don't worry, that's not just random Twitch nonsense, it's also random YouTube nonsense. You too can make emojis fly across the screen. You guys voted for this in Discord, alright? The people who have been the most avid vase of this channel wanted this. It's on them. They did this. The truth about the climate should reassure... I also just wanted to let you guys throw bricks at this shit. Like, let's be real. That's what I really wanted. If I wanted anything, it was your ability to throw bricks at shit we don't like. So throw more bricks! The truth about the climate should reassure would-be parents, new parents, or anyone racked with climate anxiety. Then you should go back into the fucking Accords if you want people to be more positive about the fucking environment. Do something positive about the environment, and then maybe people will be more positive about it. Fucking, God, just denial doesn't fucking do anything for people. Even if you think people are wrong, you still have to, like, reasonably acknowledge their concerns in a productive manner for you to either, one, change their minds, or two, reassure them. And you're not doing either of these things. Today's children can inherit a planet that is improving. But it's improving because of the fucking actions we're taking to improve it, not the denialism that you're positing. Bricks, yes, bricks. Throw bricks. Human flourishing and sound environmental stewardship are complementary, not mutually exclusive. Sure. No one should decline to have kids or more kids because of fears that children will expand the human carbon footprint and despoil the planet. Maybe that's up to individual choice, and if you want people to change their minds, you need to be 1, persuasive, and 2, accurate in your information, because if you're not accurate in your information, you're not going to be fucking persuasive. It's that simple. Nearly 2 hours behind catching up. Oh, look, it's the Heritage Foundation. This is going to be awful at even 2 times speed. Yes, David. Correct. Hi, David. Welcome to me just losing my mind over the past 2 hours. The hopelessness of climate alarmism is misplaced. Maybe people don't need to feel hopeless. I don't feel hopeless about it, not right now, but that part of that has to do with things like the Paris Agreement, and has to do with having a prime minister who is 1, not a pedophile, 2, not a fucking criminal, and 3, believes climate science and has been invested in climate science for decades before becoming prime minister. Children properly raised in a flourishing culture can grow up to do more to help the environment and solve climate problems than to exacerbate them. Not if you deny that there's a climate. You started off this thing by saying climate change is fake news, and at the end you're like, have more kids to solve the climate problem. I've lost the ability to form coherent responses. I am out of emotional support. Guacamole. Oh my god, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay, that's the end. We finished on climate change. Now we're talking about divorce culture and its reform. Why didn't divorce culture come before climate change in this document? Wait. Hold on. We went through like talking about fucking divorce and like how drug addiction is attached to that, and how all this is under this heading about hookup culture and this fucking like the family, career, and achievement and what comes first, and fucking why did divorce come after climate change? Is climate change really that big of a factor about people getting married and having kids? Like, I'm sure it is a portion of, like, to some degree, but like, really? Holy fuck. Alright, next week we'll be on divorce culture and its reform. I don't know how much more we have of this. I don't know. There's still like fucking the little nubbly is right there. So I fucking know. I don't know how much is at the hold on. How much is nonsense at the bottom? About the author. Oh god, about the authors. Screen cap this. Find these people. Fuck these people. These people suck. Write them an angry letter. Oh my god, it goes almost all the way down to the bottom. Fuck me, dude. We're about here. We talked about porn. And we talked about climate change. You know, realistically, porn is going to be a problem for climate change if people start making AI porn. Any citations? No, this thing's got lots of citations. It's just whether or not their citations are relevant is too much for me to go through. So, like, there's lots of citations buried in this document, but whether or not those citations work or actually say what they claim they're saying is not something we're checking right now, because we would be here for years. It would take us forever to like go through and read all that. Like, I cannot be bothered for something that is already toilet paper. Like, already written by a bot. Like, clearly they don't care enough about this to make sure that it's like a decent document. I am not convinced anybody was supposed to fucking read this. I am not convinced that anybody is supposed to fucking read this goddamn. No human was ever meant to see this document or read it. There's no way in hell. I'm leaving. I'm done. I can't be here anymore. I might be live later with Dapper. I don't know. That might be a thing that's supposed to be happening. He told me yesterday and asked me if I was ready for tomorrow, and I have no clue what is supposed to be happening, and that was yesterday. So I don't know what the fuck's supposed to be happening today. Consider becoming a member and helping me through my suffering and supporting me from a monetary standpoint if you can. If you can't, Don't worry about it. If you've got Amazon and you have Amazon Prime, go to Twitch and go subscribe with your free Prime, please. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Also, fuck my life. Holy shit. I don't deserve this. You don't deserve this. None of us deserve this. Nobody fucking asked for this or planned it in advance. We were merely blown here by the winds of chance. Okay, I'm leaving. Thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe and share the video if you enjoyed this. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go wash the ick off and drown my sorrow in, I don't know, my own tears, I think. Okay, bye. Goodbye. I'll see you guys later. Tomorrow's my day off. I'll see you on Thursday. I don't know what we're doing on Thursday. Hopefully talking about something better than this. Probably something politically related. I don't know. Maybe we'll start on our fucking video about fucking the gender money costs. Pink tax. That's what it's called. All right, I don't know. Soon. Bye. Videos are coming out also. Okay, bye.
I disagree infinitely about the way that was dumb, and I hate it. And I hate it. By the way, I hate it. I think it's dumb, and I hate it. And I think that it's dumb, and it's stupid. I think that it's stupid.